hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga in particular. So if you're an anime only fan, this is part of the month where I am talking about spoilers. I literally just went through and I checked the calculations, and by the time you guys are actually seeing this, this will likely go up around July 14th or 15th. By the time you guys are seeing this, we'll be at 488 out of the 660 videos on the channel being spoiler free. So that comes out to being roughly around 73%. So because of what I did last month by covering a lot of extra videos on spoilers, we've actually dipped below that 80% threshold. So you guys can finally say, hey, it can't be 80%. August is going to be a really good month for anime only fans. So with all that being said, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So as I was going back and I was looking at the chapters where Kawaki was given all this information about Kara, I came to the conclusion that one of the things that Kodachi has done when it comes to the writing is that he's paid homage. He's paid homage to a member of the Akatsuki, and I don't think a lot of people have actually talked about this, okay? Which is the way that he's using Delta is the exact same way that Masashi Kishimoto used the character of Sasori. I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, well, the members of Kara, they can't be cyborgs, even though Kawaki said that they were all cyborgs. Cyborg being human beings who have been scientifically enhanced with biomechanical engineering, basically with robotic parts. Whereas with Delta, we saw it. Delta self-destructed. Delta basically blew her body up, and there are separate copies of Delta. There's 3 bodies of her. And so people are saying, oh, well, that definitely means that she's an android. No, I'm gonna double down on that. Delta's still human. However, like I've talked about in other videos, I really feel like that triangle on the back of her body, that's gonna be revealed to be her heart, and that's a very, very subtle homage to what you got with Sasori. And it really makes sense when you really think about it, because just as Sasori, when you look at the Akatsuki members, like take out Itachi and Kisame, okay, take out Itachi and Kisame. When you get into Shippuden, and when you get into the fact that for the Naruto story, and a majority of the story is what takes place in what the anime fans affectionately refer to as Shippuden, for the manga, that's volumes 28 onwards. So when we look specifically at this time period, so forget everything that happens in part 1, just at this specific time period, the first Akatsuki members that we see are Sasori and Deidara, and those are the first members in this time period that we actually see fighting. We see Deidara fighting against Gar, and we see Sasori fighting against Kankuro. And one of the things that we got in there is the fact that when Sasori is fighting against Sakura, it gets revealed that his whole body was a human puppet, and yet Sasori was still a living human being. His heart was still beating. That was the only organic part of him. And I think that when you start talking about the core that each of these car members have, it's gonna get revealed that Delta's core is obviously gonna be that triangle, but her heart, her soul is also gonna be in that triangle as well. That's why she can go into what's basically a inorganic object in that body, that mechanical body that is made for her, and it's that heart that gets placed inside of it, that triangle that turns that body into a living organism. That's why Naruto says your jutsu uses up a bunch of chakra, because once that heart gets placed into it, it's gonna spread that chakra through it, because that heart is still gonna have chakra to it. And I think that that's brilliant, and like I said, that's paying homage to Sasori. That's paying a very brilliant homage to Sasori, because for the Boruto story, the prologue is the versus Momoshiki arc, and the prologue is the Mujina Bandits arc. Now, if you look at Naruto, if you want to say part 1 is a prologue for Naruto's story because a majority of it takes place in Shippuden, I say you could definitely make that case. You could definitely, I don't agree with it. Saw one story, but I've seen people make that case. So what I'm saying is that if we go by those people's logic, I could totally see it. But regardless, even if we don't look at it and say that's a complete 101 one-on-one comparison, I definitely think that you're gonna see homages paid to the Sakura and Chio fight against Sasori being paid when it comes to the eventual fight that takes place that takes out Delta. Right now, Delta is completely unconscious because Amado had some type of fail switch that basically left her unconscious, but that triangle on her heart, like every time we've seen that character design, one of the things we've seen is like when her back turns, we've seen that triangle, that drone or whatnot. And when she was fighting against Naruto, if I'm not mistaken, that drone was in the air as well. That makes a lot of sense because you don't want to get in a scenario where Naruto accidentally blows up her heart. That makes a lot of sense. That really makes a lot of sense. So I say that to say, I don't think that Delta is going to be a character that's going to be taken out in the next time we see her. Like right now, if I'm not mistaken, she has 2 more bodies that are left behind. I think we're going to have a scenario where, let's say if you get to the point where basically because Amado made that body go through the fail switch, Delta's gotta remove her heart and go into that other body. If that's the case, now we only have 1. Then we could see her defeated. If not, you'll have a scenario where Delta's gotta be dealt with 2 more times, which would make sense because Delta triangle, that makes a lot of sense right there because you look at the meaning of the name and everything and the shape that was going in as far as how her bodies were put forward and the fact that her scientific ninja weapon tool core is gonna be that actual heart, that drone that she's got on her back. All that really makes sense. However, I really want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about not only this being Delta's weakness, but also this also being a strength for her? How do you guys feel about that? Because I think that if this is a strength, we have to say it in the fact that basically she can't die. As long as there's a body left for her, she can transport it. And do you guys think that this is them paying homage to the whole concept of Sasori? Because like I've talked about in a lot of videos, you know, Boruto in very subtle ways pays a bunch of homages to the original Naruto manga. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching only to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.